after bouncing Tyron Woodley's face off the canvas in their rematch. Many fighters from around the world have expressed their desire to fight Jake Paul in a boxing match. Some deserved it, some don't. But here are the top 5 fighters that Jake Paul should box next. But before I get into details, I noticed that many of you haven't subscribed to this channel. So let us all fix that by subscribing, liking, and share this video for more MMA and boxing analysis just like this. Coming in number 5, it's KSI, Mr. Knowledge, Strength, and Integrity himself. He wants it, Jake wants it, the fans wants it, the boxing promotion wants it, the entire world wants it. For about 2 years ago, because nowadays the beef and the rivalry is kinda dead in the mud. KSI used to want to go to battle with Jake. He was fired up to fight Jake back in 2018 to 2019. But come 2020 until the present day, he doesn't seem to be interested in fighting Jake at all. He said that he doesn't need to prove a point. Back then, he was always pumped up, ready to fight, ready to go to war with Jake. He always said, I want to fight Jake. I want to beat his face up. But nowadays, KSI doesn't seem to be that interested in Jake. He was always gonna he was always giving this expression like, oh yeah, I'll fight Jake, but if the money's right. Other than that, I just don't really care. And Jake himself has always expressed that he has no desire to fight KSI nowadays as well. Due to the fact that he expressed his opinion on KSI's boxing ability, he has always expressed that KSI is not on his level repeatedly.
I think I'm done, bro. He needs me more. Like, I'm getting paid like multiple 8 figures for fights, and he's like coming in and wants like 3 million, 4 million. Like, that's like 2 years ago. And he's afraid, let's be honest. He understands it. He admitted on his YouTube video that I'm a better boxer. I wish him the best. He's killing it in music. I have respect for him. It's just over.
And it's also the fact that KSI hasn't been active since 2019. And it's true, KSI hasn't fought since 2019. Jake has been way more active. He has been working way harder in terms of boxing. KSI, he has his music career. He has found success in music. He found a lot of success in music as he has been collaborating with many, many famous musical artists in his rap songs, in his rap music. And his Spotify listeners has been growing immensely. But don't worry, if JJ loses, he can always check his monthly listeners. Plus, KSI also has his new drink that he collaborated with Logan Paul, Prime, which I'd love to try it out as well. So KSI, Logan, if you're watching this, you know who to sponsor. So I do not think that both of them physically really needed this fight to happen. But if the fight were to be announced, then hell yeah, everybody wants to see this fight. Some of the KSI fans want to see Jake's head get sparked unconscious. Some Jake Paul fans want to keep this circus up going and see Jake keeps trolling these fighters and exposing all of these fighters being underpaid by some organization. Number 4, Jorge Gamebred Masvidal. Despite training together for the Ben Askren fight, Masvidal showing him a couple of techniques on how to fight Ben Askren, Masvidal and Jake Paul has been constantly going at each other's throat for the past 3 months. Unlike Tyron Woodley and Ben Askren, Jorge Masvidal is actually a striker. In fact, he is one of the most vicious striker in the welterweight division. He displayed great domination against the famous fight with Nate Diaz, forcing the fight to become a doctor stoppage TKO victory to him. His strike games, punching, elbows, knees were all very, very vicious and were destroying Nate Diaz for all 3 rounds of the entire fight. But does that translate to anything good in boxing? Honestly, I'm not really sure about this one myself, because Jorge Masvidal, despite being a good striker, he is very vicious in his strikes, but he also has the help of his elbows, has the help of his knees, and has the help of leg kicks to help him further his career in the UFC. But what do you guys think? Can he beat Jake Paul in a boxing match? Comment below and let me know. Number 3, it's Nate Diaz! Stockton's baddest motherfucker there is. Crispy technique. Very crispy boxing technique. Unlike Jorge Masvidal, in a pure boxing match, Nate Diaz can throw a much better punches than Jorge. Nate Diaz has routinely sparred with Andre Ward, an actual boxing champion. Ward's, Conor McGregor, Jorge Masvidal, and many other fighters has expressed that Nate Diaz is very hard to put down because he is one tough-ass mofo. And it's true, Nate Diaz has got an iron-ass chin. That man can take a truck to the face and still get up like nothing has ever happened. If you look at how Nate Diaz fights every single time, he throws sloppy punches at around maybe 60% of his total punching power into every single shot that he throws out. But unfortunately for many people, that is where his ultimate cardio comes in. He throws these sloppy ass punches that doesn't really look that badly, but according to the final round, it has become knockout power due to everybody else is suffering from fatigue. Whereas Nate remained the same. His cardio is insane. Nate Diaz can run for miles without stopping. This man is a cardio king. And we always see Jake very much gassed out in the final rounds. We saw him gassed out against Tyron Woodley in their first fight, where Woodley caught him with a good right hand, and then he was very much stomping for air, and both of them were just trying to avoid each other at that point of the fight. It was pretty boring in the final rounds because nobody was really doing anything, and Jake Paul was pretty much gasping for air every single time the fight goes into the later rounds. So if Nate can take one of Jake's bombs of a right hand and to the later rounds, he can absolutely pose a knockout power to Jake Paul. He will absolutely cause Jake massive problems if the fights go to later rounds. Nate can definitely finish Jake off in the final rounds, unless he starts pointing at people randomly and cuckling and wasting the opportunity like he did against Leon Edwards, then that's going to be a huge problem. Number 2. Tommy Fury, the Gypsy King's younger brother. Obviously, for many reasons. 1, he's an actual boxer. 2, he's got crispy boxing technique. And 3, he's Tyson Fury's younger brother. They are part of the Fury family, who are pretty much a breeding, fighting family. They're very good. John Fury used to brawl bare knuckle. Tyson Fury is the heavyweight champion of the world. And Tommy Fury right now is currently on to fight with Jake Paul. They're on track to fight with Jake Paul. They were on track to fight Jake Paul, in fact, nearly almost 6 months now. But since Tommy pulled out due to an injury in the last fight, they had to replace Jake with Tyron Woodley in the rematch. And that flopped badly for the pay-per-view sales. But will people be actually hyped for this fight? Yes and no. Obviously, a lot of people wants to see Tommy Fury and Jake Paul fight, as you know, Jake is finally fighting an actual boxer. He's finally jumping into the ring with a real boxer. But then again, Tommy Fury isn't really that good of a boxer. His opponents, most of the time, were absolute tomato cans. They were absolutely tomato cans and taxi drivers, majority of them. Not to mention the fact that Tommy Fury has the same personality of a brick wall. He is very boring. In fact, the only reason the last press conference were alive was because of John Fury absolutely going ballistic on Jake.
Listen, you know now you're swearing now. You know when Tommy knocks you out, don't you? You're going to bend your girlfriend over and do her like a dog.
John Fury, you never accomplished
your
anything.
Team sack them,
You never
sack the
accomplished
brains around your
anything
team
in your
because they
life.
let you down,
You're
sadly.
living vicariously through.
You're the biggest idiot of all for accepting this fight, you mug. Take the glasses off so I can see the fear in your eyes. Take the glasses off so I can see the fear in your eyes.
No, it's...
Take them off. There's no glasses on these
funny
guys.
because
And Jake looked like he's also pulled a half-ass attempt at the press conference. Why isn't he in the press conference? Why is he doing Skype calls instead, where you can barely hear him speak? It was a disaster press conference. It wasn't that good. So that pretty much killed all the hype for that fight. And Tommy pulled out due to an injury, and that was the end of that. But will they be scheduled to fight? And if they do, who will take this victory? Let me know in the comments, guys. And number 1, Anderson Silva. Yes, the Spider. One of the greatest mixed martial artists of all time. He also saw how he clearly, easily outclassed Julio Chavez Jr., who is an actual former boxing champion that went 12 rounds, yes, 12 rounds with Canelo Alvarez. Even though Chavez Jr. is nowhere near as good as his father was, he's still way better than Tyron the Statue Woodley. Anderson already has an amateur boxing career in the past, and Anderson also was a former pro boxer as well in the past before he transitioned into MMA. and the rest is history. He also absolutely sparked Tito Ortiz's head on the canvas. But it is to be expected because Tito Ortiz isn't really a boxer. He's a great MMA champion. He was a former UFC champion, but he's not a great boxer at all, Tito Ortiz. And to be fair though, he's not really that good in boxing, Tito Ortiz. Thank goodness Tito Ortiz was put out of his misery. If he would have spoke another word, we would have lost brain cells as well. But the real question is, will Jake take this fight in the foreseeable future? And if he does, who do you think will win? You guys comment below and let me know. If you want to see more videos like this, you gotta hit those like button, you gotta hit those subscribe button, and join the channel. Welcome to the MMA ride of Bodin Bear. And as always, thanks for watching.